Hey, welcome to Combat Vet Vision. This is a platform for us as veterans, sponsors, supporters, volunteers, combat veterans, get a chance to really kind of talk about things that are going on in our lives. It's a great place to kind of find something that you can relate to, something that you can kind of figure stuff out. I'm Aaron Siebert, retired Navy chief, lucky to be alive after being hit with a mortar round. This is my co-host, JB Brown, world-renowned chef and Hall of Famer in the chef industry and Coast Guard vet. Great. Out of all those kudos, Coast Guard vet. But he does a lot of cool things and helps me with everything. We are at the Veterans Transition Resource Center studio, conducting this, doing all this great things, and I got a great guest on today, Brandon Jenkins. United States naval officer. He served at the Naval Academy, retired from that. Graduated from that and went into the Navy, 24 years of service, commanding officer of a squadron, a whole bunch of other cool stuff. CH-60 pilot. Good to have you, sir. How you doing?
Aaron, JB, good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey. Well, we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Beautiful downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah. Hey, you got a lot to talk about. I know you got some really cool thing in the coaching industry of stuff, and I want you to get into that. But, we want to hear your story. Why you served, what was it that inspired you, and talk about that. And it's just such a really cool thing, especially coming off of Memorial Day. We go out there, we serve, we've lost buddies in different situations. And our freedoms are free because somebody's still watching the line, guarding the gate, and making sure everything's good to go. So, it's great to have you on deck, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Man, what inspired me? Dude, it's a long story. So I won't make it that long for the audience, right? But my mom was a Navy corpsman. And wow. When I was about 10 years old, I was on it was a summer vacation. And she talked to me about this thing called the Naval Academy. And I had, up to that point, I'd never even heard of that. And being a 10-year-old kid at the time, I was like, I don't know that I'm really even interested in going into the military. But what she did there was she planted a seed. And then fast forward a few years, the Naval Academy, the local blue and gold officer came into the high school and talked about this thing called summer seminar. And it's a thing where you can go to the Naval Academy for a week during the summer before your junior year. And you get to be there for a week and you get to get just a little bit of a taste of what it might be like to go to the Naval Academy. And so, that when I did that, my love of the team, and I don't know that I could have articulated it like this back then, but it really energized this possibility in me to continue being on amazing teams that are together with a common purpose, like all of the sports teams that I played on growing up. And I really love the camaraderie of those teams. And I looked at this as a way to continue doing that, to go to a school where I could continue to be on a team and we're all working towards a common purpose, common mission. And so I would say that is the story of how I was inspired to enter the Navy.
Nice. And Naval Academy, this is a school for the military, for the Navy. And, talk about that because it's a little bit different. The disciplines that have to be, you're not going there and you're just, it's not like the frats that you see in colleges and normal colleges. Although it has some intense moments. I mean, to watch the Navy Army game every year is one of the most impressive, games to watch. December 12th, usually. And it's one of the most awesome things to see. So, it brings the academies together. The uniforms just looks prestige. The stadium's full of nothing but, pride of the military. And it's just hugely awesome. So, talk about why someone would want to go to the Naval Academy and why that ended up being such a cool thing.
Yeah, not your
disciplines of it all.
Well, I mean, it's not your typical college experience. It's I did 22 years active after the academy, but I like to say I did 26 years because you go to the Naval Academy and, it's called Lead Summer, the summer before you get started there. And it's essentially our boot camp. And we're kind of treated like that, right? We're stripped down of like, you come from being a senior. Most of us come from being seniors in high school where we had all, we were at the top, and now we get stripped down and we're kind of the bottom. We get our head shaved and we are it's our boot camp, right? We go through boot camp. And then, it's pretty intense. The first year is pretty intense with the restrictions. I remember not being able to leave the yard. They call it the yard there, but I couldn't leave the yard except for Saturdays for about 10 hours on a Saturday, my whole freshman year, except for some holidays where they let you go home. And so, yeah, it's pretty intense. It's a different experience. But from the very beginning, like I talked about why I wanted to go there, from the very beginning, you are in squads and you're working together on teams to accomplish things. And even during the academic year, everybody has to do some kind of sport. So whether it's varsity sport or if you're not on a varsity sport, you're doing intramurals, it's a requirement. And so it's just this idea of team is you start there and it's ingrained in you the whole time you're there. And, it's no wonder that after 4 years, that how special it is to the team aspect of it. And so that's exactly what I wanted when I went there. And I certainly got a lot of that while I was there. But yeah, there's a lot of discipline involved, heavy course load, 16 to 20 credits. 16 is the minimum credit, requirement per year. Like everybody there, you graduate in 4 years. There's no, red shirt freshmen. There's no 5-6 year seniors, with very, very few, exceptions. And so, yeah, it's pretty rigorous. What else would you like to know specifically about it?
No, that's cool. It's such an amazing thing because you don't, as much as you see or you hear about the academy, to hear it from your vision from being there, going there and graduating and everything. That's just something I wanted to just pick your brain on a little bit. That's just such a cool little piece of the military's history. It's just awesome. So to be a naval officer is like one of those really incredible things. And the reason, I joined the Navy because I watched Top Gun, but my girlfriend's father graduated from the Naval Academy, David Albert McCrae, F4 and vigilante pilot, air boss on the Coral Sea, just a lot of different things. I think he flew the opposite of the president's plane, or he didn't fly it, but he was the commanding officer of that squadron that flew out of I think it's Kneecap, out of Nebraska, some big thing. It's the battle plane when the president has to switch over from Air Force One to the battle plane. That's what he did. So just cool. Some incredible things,
Yeah.
So I hear about these naval stories and it's just such a cool thing. So to get it from your eyes is just awesome. And then you got out in the fleet and talk about how that went for you and all the cool stuff that you had to relearn after the academy.
Oh man, so many, dude. How do you collapse 22 years of active duty? So got out, went to flight school in Florida. Everybody starts off in Pensacola, and then we kind of get scattered off from there depending on what track we go to. Flight school for me took about 2 years, so anywhere from 1.5 years to 2.5 years, depending on your platform. And then I went to Jacksonville, Florida, and started flying the SH-60 Bravo, which is primary mission there is anti-submarine, anti-surface. So essentially, for the listener, if you're unfamiliar, we're hunting subs, and we're also kind of painting the surface picture of surface combatants, surface ships out there on the water. We're good at like painting a picture of that for the rest of kind of our teammates, right, to be able to see the overall picture there. So we're really good at that. We're really good at hunting subs. And so, yeah, started that. And that was my primary job, right, for a long time. So much so that I just kind of progressed through that pipeline and was fortunate enough to be able to command a squadron. By that time, I had transitioned to the new variant, the MH-60 Romeo. Same mission, just updated systems capabilities, and then was fortunate enough to be able to command a squadron. And then after that, I came up to the Naval War College up in Newport, Rhode Island, where at first I was a graduate student at the Naval War College. And then after I graduated there, I was able to get a position on staff there. And I was facilitating leader development classes for the last 2 years of my active duty time at the Naval War College. And that is kind of where somewhere in there, and I can tell you exactly, and we may or may not get to this, I don't know, but somewhere in there I fell in love with coaching and just the development. I mean, developing my teammates was, for the longest time, was really what kept me in the Navy. Those opportunities to be with the team, and especially the higher I went and was fortunate enough to be in those positions to develop my teammates, at least be a big part of that, was why I stayed in. And so I could continue doing this at the War College for all of the officers coming through. And I've just developed a love of coaching there and decided that I wanted to take that with me outside the uniform.
Yeah. And you hooked up with a coach yourself, right? When you got to a leadership position, you wanted to, you're like, hey, I need to hire a coach that's going to help me kind of navigate. I mean, and this is the cool thing about leadership. It's always changing. It's always adapting to whatever the situation is, right? But it's great to have good people with you that will lead you along the way and give you some pointers and somebody you can bounce those questions off of and get those answers. And I think, that's such an important part. And I definitely want to get into this coaching part, because after you left, and this is where you're at now, and I want to get into that. So yes, talk about that.
One thing's for sure. I remember coming up through the ranks of being a great chef, and mentorship was so important. And, I wanted to be that mentor, and eventually I got to the level where I could be, and there's nothing more fulfilling, let me tell. I know that from personal experience. Just if you mentor somebody and they're doing really great, it just makes you meaningful. Having a meaningful life is always so rewarding, and the feelings
100%.
I just can't. I get goosebumps even thinking of it. It's great,
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And so you got out after 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your rank then?
Commander.
You were a commander. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you decided time was up, but you didn't want to give away or give up the coaching or the mentorship of other people. So I'd like to hear about how you're achieving some of that.
Yeah.
Or how you're undertaking it.
Yeah, 100%. So I'll tackle both those. Aaron mentioned something about, me hiring my own coach at some point as well. Maybe I'll start there. It's very significant as to why I'm now coaching others. I was getting ready to assume command. So I was in naval aviation, at least most naval aviation squadrons, the XO fleets up to be the CO, assuming you did a good job as XO and you didn't get fired, essentially.
Right.
But right. So XO, for listeners, XO second in command of the squadron, CO is the first in command. And so I was the XO, and I was about 3 months ish from the change of command where I would assume the duties of the CO, commanding officer. And I had always been pretty introspective, had always, maybe not always, but at least for the last 5 to 10 years prior to that, had just, was interested in personal development. Start With Why by Simon Sinek was a very influential book for me. And so I was just really interested and introspective on what mattered to me, my values, and this idea of we're all on the planet with a unique purpose. And at the time, I didn't call it a blueprint. Now I kind of use the term blueprint. My coach introduced me to that. Maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. But I hired a coach to help me see that stuff more clearly, because all the leaders that I most respected, most admired throughout my career up until that point, they seem to just be very comfortable in their own skin. They seem to know kind of who they were, what their strengths and weaknesses were, and what their unique role was in our command, in our team, whatever command that may be. And I think I related that to that situational awareness, that self-awareness. And so I really thought I was pretty good at that, but I wanted some help taking it all from up, jumbled mess up in my brain, kind of helping sweep away the gunk and helping me to see it in a way that would allow me to actually be intentional with using it, right? With using what I'm uniquely on the planet to use, with using why they promoted me to be a commanding officer, with using that, like leaning into that, instead of some other leaders in my past who seem to always kind of be copy and pasting, not really knowing themselves as much. And just, I used to call them book of the month leaders, where you didn't know if you were getting them or if they read the latest leadership book and they were just trying to, throw some of those things at the wall and see if they would stick. And so that is what prompted me to hire my own coach, which at the time, for an 05 in the Navy, naval aviation, I didn't know any of my peers who had done that, who had hired that. And I only say that to say that it was kind of like, I don't know, I felt like, am I not ready for this? Because I feel like I need to have a coach, right? Because I just hadn't seen anyone else at my level do that. And so it was kind of a little bit scary. And one of the reasons I hired the coach was because it's like, did they get it right? It was like kind of shaking myself. Like, did the Navy get this right? I mean, I'm about to be a commanding officer. So I was like, heck yeah, man, I want some help. And so I hired a coach. I'll pause there just to see if that brought anything else up for you guys, if you want to take it a different direction or what.
No, that's amazing. That's the way to, kind of come to these ideas and articulate the thoughts. And, it's amazing that you came to that. And so in doing that, obviously you use these skills to help mentor all the people around you, fell underneath you and across the board. Mm-hmm. This helped you in your Navy career to continue on until you decided to retire, but you still have these skills and you want to use them now. And how is that working out? And what is that doing for you? And talk about it. It's tier one coaching. And yep. it's a brand. It's a process. It's definitely you and you have a buddy involved in this as well. Correct. Feel free to talk about whatever you want and throw it out there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. First off, the coaching changed my life, and it transformed me, because I all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, I mean, through the process, which, by the way, I still work with my coach today. Right. So now at this point, we're talking almost 6 years of it. But the process changed my life. What it did is it just allowed me, it was like confidence boosting. It was like, hey, yeah, man, you're not great at everything. You're great at some stuff. Certainly you're competent. You're an expert in your field, absolutely. And there's a whole bunch of crap you don't know yet. And you're going to face a whole bunch of stuff that there's no manual written for. Right. And so what the process of working with a coach did for me is it let me know that, hey, I have a foothold here. Like, I know me and I know what I bring to the fight. And I know that I can go out there and get those other things into the fight when I'm faced with situations where I don't really know the answer, which was a lot. Right. I was very confident that I didn't have to know everything, and that's all good, because I know what I bring to the fight, and we can work together and we can adapt. That's what that process really accelerated my ability to do that. Okay. So one of the other things it did is it just gave me the confidence to finally be like, hey, I'm going to look at my future opportunities, and I'm going to look for the alignment now in these future opportunities with that unique purpose, with my unique blueprint, versus when in the past I might have said, okay, well, I finished this tour and these are the 3 jobs that'll give me the best chance to promote to the next level. And so I'm going to take those because that's what everybody says I should do, right? No, it completely changed the way I look at those future opportunities. And it gave me I just felt empowered, right? That's what it changed my life. It changed my life. And that is what led me to the Naval War College, to get up here, to be, to have, ultimately, I wanted the opportunity to be either a professor at where I ended up, the Naval War College, or to go to the Naval Leadership and Ethics Center and kind of do a similar thing for all the prospective XOs and COs that are coming up through the Navy. Like, I wanted the chance to help develop someone and maybe help them transform the way that I transformed when I hired my coach. That's what led me up here. That's where the little spark of the love of coaching came from. And then as soon as I got to the War College, I actually started practicing coaching myself as part of my studies there. I was in a leader development concentration called the Stockdale Leader Development Concentration. And you practice peer coaching at first, and you just get a taste of what real coaching is beyond, of course, I had my own coach, but I wasn't the one coaching at that point. That was my coach coaching me. And I saw it as the number one tool, or one of the most effective tools I had ever come across, to help empower the person sitting across from me. Yeah. Because to me, coaching is all about partnering with the person across from me and helping them come to the realizations they need to for their unique situation, their unique blueprint, their unique context, their lives, and helping them kind of sort through that and come to the best next steps for them, tailor-made for them. And to me, that is ultimate empowerment. And I made the decision that, man, I want to keep doing this in a more intentional way outside of service, outside of the uniform.
Right. Well, you continue to serve in this fashion, and obviously bringing that with you without the uniform. But now you're in the uniform of the minute. You get to wear your hat the way that you want. And I am too. I'm always wearing Warrior Builder, the PTSD Foundation, and Veteran Transition Resource Center. I mean, it's great to wear these labels, but this is a uniform of your minute. And now, who are your customers now, and how do you serve them, and what's going on with that, and how does somebody get involved with Tier 1 coaching?
Yeah, my clients now they're shifting their arena. I think back to when I first sought help. Right, I was changing arenas. I was making a shift from a department head or second in command to all of a sudden I was going to have the responsibility of, a 300 plus person, 12 helicopter squadron on my shoulders. And that's it just takes something different in that environment than when I was, say, a young lieutenant and my main job was just strap that helicopter on and go fly it and fight it. I wasn't responsible for the entire command. So it's different. So that's a different arena. Shifting from military to civilian. That's a huge shift in arenas that you're operating in, right? So those are 2 examples of the kinds of people that typically that I love to work with. Veterans who are shifting arenas, whether it's military to civilian or whether they're vets that are already they've already made that transition, but they're shifting arenas in another part of their life. And I love working with them to just help empower them the way I was, to just tap into your God-given, your purpose, your blueprint, tap into that and lead and live only the way you can, the way that only you are meant to, because you're one of a kind.
Personal development. That's what it comes down to. I mean, it's so important. I mean, I used to run casinos, 700, 800 employees. You know, you have so many different personalities that you juggle, you know, and still get the job done. And you know, the ones that look inside to be better or do more, and it's important to them. And those that you kind of gyrate to or start to mentor more for, and then you watch them grow. And then there comes a day when they got to go do their own thing or go do what they're supposed to be doing. And, you know, I still keep in touch, but, you know, thank God I can see I had a touch in that, you know, I had a part in them being who they are. And there's nothing more, you know, satisfying or rewarding.
Yeah.
I got you. So, yeah, self-development, power of communication. I mean, there's so many things involved. People have
Yeah, it's like, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, JB.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I have this saying that raise yourself, raise your team. And it's actually the tier 1 logo is a T1, right? And it's on a shield. And the shield is the team, the T1 is you. And the idea behind it is raise yourself. So like you were just talking about personal development, take an interest in your own lifelong learning and growth. Because if you do that, you will naturally, not only will you rise up, you will naturally bring your team with you. Just by being around you, if you have that kind of mindset, just by being around you, you'll elevate those around you. And the reason this is on the shield is because, hey, life happens, and there's going to be times when you as the individual are going to need someone to lift you up. And who better to do that than your team? Right?
Gotcha. You bet.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. So,
always.
Man,
I have a saying.
Piece.
I tell a lot of people that I mentor, I say, Confucius say, mind is like umbrella, only works when open. So keep an open mind, you know. I can teach, you know, how to become a good chef and how to be a good person, but I can't teach attitude, you know. You just can't teach that. So when you find them young and green, but great attitude and wanting to go the same direction you're going, it's great. Doesn't happen every day, but when it happens, it's great.
100%. I love it.
So you were on the East Coast. What part of the East Coast?
Yep, now? I'm in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Yeah. Ooh. Once I retired, my wife and I decided, man, we love it up here so much, we want to stick around.
Lots of snow.
Oh my gosh, this winter we got. Where are you at? What part of the country are you guys in?
Las Vegas.
Vegas.
No snow here, really.
No snow there. Yeah.
No. In the mountain. We got some good
once
snow
in a while.
Every once in a while, every 6-7 years.
45 minutes away, there's 20 or 30 feet and ski resorts.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And it's only
we had
45 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. We had like 43 inches this winter, which I've been up here 4 winters now. And this winter was the first time we had anything more than a few inches. And we had about 1.5 feet in January. And then at the end of February, we had 43 inches where I'm at in Tiverton, Rhode Island.
Almost 4 feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't do cold.
Insane. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
insane.
I have COPD, so I can't do cold. Cold is absolutely a killer for me. So I'm a desert rat. I like the desert, you know. I like that. You know, when it's 117 out and I'm grilling over a hot grill, I'm happy. You know, people say you're nuts. I go, no.
Yep.
It's just I can't do cold.
Yeah.
I used to love it. I used to ski all the time, but you know, it just doesn't work. So you're
just
in Rhode
visit me
Island.
in the summer then.
Huh? Yeah.
Just visit me in the summertime then.
Or you can always come to Vegas. Everybody comes to Vegas. You know?
Yeah, I come to Vegas anytime.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
So you got you're helping guys transition out of the military as well. You're helping the transition. You're helping the civilian population. You're helping guys, and you're able to help no matter where you're at in the country. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Virtual, just like this.
Is-
Not on StreamYard,
Yeah.
but Zoom. We'll jump on a Zoom call.
All kinds of other things. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, and to let you guys know, Brandon's one of the few guys that have came out of just the side of just, hey, popped in, just said, hey, Aaron, I'd like to get to know you. What's going on? And we just met a couple weeks ago. And so this is kind of a cool thing because most of the people I know, about 90% of the contacts that come in here have been on my podcast. Your episode 293. I know 90%, 95%. And you're just one of those guys that just kind of hit me up. And it's great because for one, it's cool to hear your story. And it's cool to know what your pathway is and what you're doing to help and support our veteran community, our civilian community, whatever it is. And you're inspired to continue doing what you're doing. So it's awesome. So, feel free to talk about that. We got about 5 more minutes. I want you to, talk about how people might get a hold of you, whatever else you want to talk about in there. Feel free to throw the brand out there as much as you want, or any other brands, or any other, how guys can get a hold of you. Obviously through me, LinkedIn. He's in LinkedIn. You can look him up. And talk real quick. Jenks is your call sign when you were flying as a pilot, correct? Just so people can know that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, it came up.
It's aviation call signs, man. They die hard. So I like, it's one of those things. It's like, I'm not tied to that identity, but it's a cool reminder of like, what is a huge part of my life, right?
Yeah,
and
that's you. Come on.
It's something. So I think as a transitioning, so as someone who has just transitioned actually out of the military within the last year, and I'm somebody who has done a ton of work on the deeper level values, passion, skills, purpose, all the stuff that doesn't matter what my rank was, doesn't matter that I flew helicopters. None of that is tied to like me, the human. And at the same time, all those experiences play a huge part in developing us. And so, it's one of those things that, am I going to tie everything I do now to, I'm never going to be a naval aviator again. I'm never going to fly the helicopters again. I'm not going to do that. And at the same time, take those little things like Jenks, like your call sign, take that with you, and it's something you can take with you. And it's a good reminder of all that you've experienced, man. Our experiences, that's our lives. It's like our experiences, it shapes how we see the world. And so there's nothing wrong with, taking a little bit of that with you, even when hey, it doesn't define me. Naval aviator doesn't define me. Infantryman doesn't define me, right? I am a unique person with a unique blueprint and a unique purpose. However, man, some really good memories come from naval aviation. So yeah. So my call sign, but I will say this, a lot of naval aviators get call signs because they do something really stupid, and their squadron mates give them a call sign because of that. Mine just comes because, people were too lazy to say my whole name. So they just shortened my last name from Jenkins to Jenks.
Yeah. And that's good because it fits your name, it's part of your name. So it's like, hey, I have to keep part of it anyway because it's part of my name. I just got to finish it out, right? So it's kind of cool. But it was cool, when I do show notes on guys, I was able to pull a lot off the internet for you, so I could read up on you a lot, and that was good. And you're doing some amazing work, and I think it's going to be incredible because a lot of the vets that I associate with, they're always, where can I learn how to do something? What who can I talk to about this? And I'm like, hey, this podcast becomes a library of support, and it's like, hey, check out my podcast, see if there's anything that relates to you. If you need me to send you a contact to any of those, let me know, and we'll do it. And my mentor and my coach is Brian Colburn, who's running this, sitchradio.com. So you talk about coaching. This guy's always coaching me. I wouldn't be a podcaster. He's like, hey, you need to be a podcaster. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I'm going to do a podcast studio, and you're going to be a podcaster because you have many stories and you need to be able to tell them. And I'm like, all right. So I'm not a podcaster, but I play one in real life sometimes because I have a coach
Nice.
that helps me understand that. and then
that.
I threw this guy under the bus with me too. And so it's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you quit swimming, you drown. And if you stop growing, you stop growing. I'm 74. So Jenks 74. And I do the podcast with him. I work with veterans. I work with chefs. I work with St. Jude's Ranch. I'm all the time going. And I get to mentor.
I love that.
That's what I do. So it's great. I understand why you do it.
Hey, but it's awesome to get to know you, Brandon, and thanks for coming on the show. And feel free, throw it out there. How can someone get a hold of you, and where's your link to your coaching?
Yep. So tier1coaching.com. You can go there. You can learn a little bit about the blueprint process. You've heard me say the word blueprint a couple times throughout. But you can learn a little bit about what that even might be right there on the website, tier1coaching.com. I am fairly active on LinkedIn. So that is a really good way to get a hold of me, is to find me on LinkedIn and DM me. And so it's just LinkedIn, right? And it's Brandon-L.Jenkins. So if you find me on there, I'm very active, and it's me responding to you. It's not AI responding to you. So yeah, there it is. So yeah, those are probably the two best ways to, one, get a hold of me, and two, learn a little bit about a process that I bring into the tailor-made coaching experience. Blueprint process is a part of that. But everything is unique and tailored to the individual, because I want to empower you based on you, not based on what I think you should be doing. Right. So it's very tailor-made and to the individual.
That's great. That's great. That's something that's really important, to learn someone's pathway and look at it and be like, I want to see you. I want to know about your pathway, and I just want to help you along that path, because it's not my path. It's not yours. It's theirs. And that's really an important thing. And that's
empowerment, awesome. Man. Yeah. That's empowerment. Totally.
Yeah.
Brandon, that's what made me, want to put you on the podcast, because you're that kind of guy. And I appreciate your service. I appreciate you just coming on the podcast. And I'm thankful that you're part of my my Rolodex now of support that I might be able to throw your way sometime.
Yeah. And what we might need someday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But thanks for
I know you got to go, man, but this is one thing that stood out to me. A whole bunch of stuff stood out to me, Aaron, but one thing in particular was, and I think it's good for your listeners to know, that once we made a connection and you realize I wasn't AI and I was a real vet, like just, kind of wanting to connect, man, when I reached out to you, like, I think I texted you and then we were on the phone in like 20 minutes or something like that. I mean, it was
correct.
Like, that's the kind of guy you are. And you told me, you're like, I keep my schedule open for the vets that I need to serve. And that wasn't just something you say. Like, I mean, within 20 minutes, I was on the phone with you. And dude, I think that's amazing. And I'm grateful to you for that. And I think everybody should know. That's why I had to say that.
Wow. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate
Coming
that.
from you, that's excellent.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, you're welcome to pop on here anytime. If there's an event coming up, or if you want to just rehash something, there's 10-minute segments that I put on my show for that. Matter of fact, I'm going to go into one with William Estrella, a good buddy of mine, my biggest sponsor, that really personally works with me on so many cool things. So you're welcome to come on here anytime for that. Just let me know if there's something going on that you want to pop up. Just let me do it for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Our viewership is growing every month. So it's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm super grateful to be in your world, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Till next time, strength and honor.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Hey, I'm going to bring William Estrella on. William and I, like I said, William's one of my biggest sponsors, supporters. He helps me with so many things and gets a whole bunch of things going. William, how you doing? And he's been on the show. If you can look back and see him. He's Upland Group. He's in charge of all kinds of security elements for the Gray Star apartment complexes and beyond that, and so many cool things that he does. And he promotes the ability for my veterans, if they need a job, to all kinds of other things. He really helps me along the way. To even include some really cool ideas. He's always putting some cool promotions out there, and he's got me in golf tournaments and, just raising money for the foundations that I'm part of, which is the PTSD Foundation of America, Warrior Built Foundation, Veterans Transition Resource Center, and Recon Chief Incorporated, and my podcast, Combat Vet Vision. Will, how you doing, brother?
Doing amazing. I think I need you to rewrite my resume for me.
Yeah.
Hey, you're all over the place, man. I see more pictures of you doing some incredible things than anybody else that I run into. You're always smiling. You got all these people around you. You're always making people happy. It's good.
Yeah. I try to lighten the mood. We live in an interesting world today, so anything I can do to help. So I thank you for listening to all my crazy ideas along the way. So.
Yeah, and this year you became an official sponsor for the PTSD Foundation of America. Instead of just going through Graystar in that sponsorship, you became your own sponsor, and you got your own QR code. And the cool idea that you came up with the QR code, and this QR code is basically so people can donate to the foundation directly, but it goes through his organization. It goes through Upland Group, your security company. So right. That you get to be like, hey, we're an official sponsor. We're doing this, and this is how it works. And the T-shirt idea was so cool. I set it up to.
I have an example. Actually, so I partnered as I talk. Again, I thank you because I feel like when I share some ideas with my wife, she's like, "How many boxes are you bringing home?" So if you don't ask, you'll never know. For the last crazy idea I had, it was kind of like the sweatshirts that you see that have that just really strong message on the back about, hey, you don't know their story. I kind of want to have that same thing, but with a PTSD version of a message on the back of a shirt. So I reached out to my friends at Built, which is an amazing clothing brand in Irvine. They're in every mall now, it seems like. And I told them what my idea was, what it was for. They donated, let's just say maybe a little over $14,000 or $15,000 worth of shirts to me. I'm a nobody. They just listened in. I love that they support my thoughts, our veterans. And then I went to a local printing shop in Oceanside, and this was the outcome of the shirt. So it says, "Some battles are invisible, but no one fights alone." Which is really cool. It's on your back. You forget you're wearing it half the time just because it's a really nice quality, expensive shirt. So people are wearing this in the gym. They're wearing it to the office, whatever it might be. And then, of course, on the bottom, I have my logo, your logo. And in the middle, it is the QR code you were talking about. We never touch it with us, but it does tag my name that, the money did come from a specific source. So thanks to you and that your support and direction, PTSD is allowing me to kind of focus where those funds go to after they go to the PTSD Foundation of America. Awesome. I was going to say, it's been really cool. We have people in Texas. I have a veteran that is in Texas. He took a picture with the shirt on his farm. So you have the cows in the background. He was in the Navy. So it's just a really cool scene in different atmospheres, areas, all that good stuff, of people just wearing in their own right. They might have family that were veterans, or they're just supporting the cause. But if you looked on my LinkedIn page, it's literally all over. Every other story is someone with that shirt, whether they're wearing it or holding it up. And I guess that was kind of my idea, is using my village and everyone else's village, is how far can we get this message that's already spoken. But as you mentioned, I don't just help during the one golf event. Me and you partner up throughout the year, which I love. Thank you for your friendship and just being a call both ways. But yeah, my whole thing was just to remind veterans and anyone dealing with PTSD, right, that, hey, we're here. You're not alone. I had lost 3, and I know you guys being in the service, I was never in. You guys have potential to lose a lot more people than I do. But I lost three people to their own, thinking tomorrow is not good enough for them. And one of the last ones was a football buddy of mine that I played with in high school. So it really hit close to home on this last one. But this was kind of my way of using energy and connections to try to make it a little better. So did I use all my 10 minutes up, Chief?
No, that's good. Thanks, William. And hey, I'm going to be having dinner with you on Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
You're putting an event together that's it's going to kind of highlight these shirts as well. And not only, I mean, it's more not for the shirt, but it's definitely for
the cause, though. Absolutely.
For the cause. And I'm coming down to California, so I'll end up seeing you for dinner. And then it got Warrior Built golf tournament on Friday and a whole bunch of other things going on. So
it's a busy week.
Busy week. But hey, thanks for the invite. And I did invite a couple of the veterans to join us.
Awesome.
And all that good stuff. But yeah, we'll if you got any last words, if somebody wants to get a hold of Will, they can definitely do it through me. But feel free to put any other information out there, Will.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, just William Estella. Pretty easy to find me. I help a lot of people, and I know Aaron sent me individuals prior. Hey, looking for this. Hey, I need help with this. Even if it's not a job specifically or directly, just the connections of our village. We want to help each other out. We want to help others. Nothing ask in return, just to help a leg up, a contact, whatever it might be. So me and Chief have definitely worked on that throughout the years, just making those connections and connecting those dots for individuals that might not even need help, might just need a source or help on their resume, whatever it might be. So feel free, like I said, to reach out to Chief and we can go from there. But thank you again for the friendship and the partnership. Greatly appreciate it, sir. And I will see you Thursday.
Appreciate you too, brother. Strength and honor.
Yeah.
Hey, now it's Chef JB's kitchen and all the good stuff he's got going on. Chef, hey, thanks a lot for being here with me as always. And what a great show we're having.
It's my pleasure. Yeah. I mean, both guys, giving back all the time. And I know you speak of William all the time, and the golfing tournaments for Warrior Built and the different ones that he's sponsoring. And that's great. I mean, all this all comes together, it's like every day we work just a little bit. And then at the end of a period of time, it's a lot, and that's how it works.
Yeah, it's all part of the Veterans Transition Resource Center.
Yeah.
It's the resources that exist that, it's a force multiplier to everything that we do. And we spend a lot of time reaching out to so many other nonprofits. We want to highlight those things. We want to highlight people that are doing great things. Coaching, we just had the coach on, and Chef, you're all the chef stuff you're doing. And I mean, it's great. And we got so many other veterans that are doing incredible things that we get invited to and we partake in, and we want to say, hey,
flight.
Yeah, the honor flight is
22 warriors. I mean, here at the VTRC, we're growing, and this podcast certainly helps us do that. And it's important. I'd like to put out a call. If you're a veteran, you want to do a little bit of service work, I don't care, a little or a lot, give us a call. We're always looking for volunteers, and, we're not going to kill you with a 40-hour work week, but, if you got 4 to 8 hours a week, we could use your help, with the more hands, the easier the job, and constantly I'm a chef. I'm an executive chef, and I'm a well-documented executive chef, but it's like I'm always giving back, and nothing makes me more happy or it enriches my life by giving back to young chefs that want to come up through the ranks and want to do better for themselves and to learn, and that's doing that, then I'm rewarded. And whenever you outgive God, he's not going to let you. You can't outgive God, And so I teach them, and then I get blessed back because I'm learning also. And that's where it's at. Running the VTRC or helping run this is a blessing in itself. I was awarded finally 100% my disability that I acquired in the Coast Guard. And so it changes your life, it's life changing, and that's important. So on the chef scene, we went and had dinner the other night together, you and I, at the Chef of the Year dinner out at the College of Southern Nevada. Had a great time. They blessed me with Chef of the Year award. So I get a nice, real huge, big trophy all year. And I was looking at it the other day, and the first one that they actually, a meat company, donated the trophy to us. It stands about 5.5 feet tall, so about my size, and it's a huge trophy. But it started in 1970. Well, that's 56 years ago, and I've only been in 52 years. So it's like, it's a great award, and it's not the award you get. It's nice to be recognized, but what are you giving back? That's the main thing. Are you networking? Are you teaching young ones? Are you bringing them along so that they can take over for you? Because, it isn't about us today, you and I. It's about young people, and if we're not helping them, then how are they supposed to take over? How are they going to learn? How are they going to be adapt at taking over and showing them how you gave it to them so they can give it to somebody else, And my friend, you have a servant heart like I do. And it's nice when people with servant hearts get together, because then things get done and things grow, And it's like our garden, you want it to grow and produce. And that's what we feel like, and that's what we do. So it's great. And that's my 2 cents, my brother.
Hey, thanks, Chef JB. I appreciate you, and it's great to have you on deck. And hey, we'll go to Brian Colburn, and we'll go to feed drops. He's going to drop in here hopefully, and just do a quick little feed drop. Because feed drops, it's designed to kind of coach us through our podcast and give us pointers and kind of cut us down from what we were doing that we shouldn't be doing and what we should be doing. So Brian Colburn, how you doing, brother? United States Marine and producer of the show with Sitch Radio.
And our good friend.
And good friend. Exactly.
Love you both, man.
Hey, we need your sound, bro. I know you're pushing all the buttons, but I'm going to feed drop you right now. You just have 0 sound. Yeah.
No.
How's that? Is that any better?
No sound.
No, I'm still down.
No.
Do you want to type it to him?
You have no sound. Hey, so he's going to figure out the sound.
How about now? I'm getting green lights on my end.
No. Can you hear us? Okay, good. Hey, well, we'll let Brian try to fix that. But in the meantime, there's a couple. I always want to thank a lot of things, and one of those is Darts Only Golf. Darts Only Golf is working really hard right now to run a lot of golf tournaments in Southern California. One for Warrior Built Foundation, one that's coming up for the American Patriot Music Project, as well as the PTSD Foundation of America. So he's putting together a lot of things. He's got one that's coming up on Thursday.
Where's that at?
You know what? I can't remember, but I'm going to say, hey, check out Darts Only Golf. Look at it. And if there's golf tournaments that you want to do in the Southern California area, get involved with that. He really tries to put the nonprofit organizations out there making things happen. That's Tom Gibbons, who I'm going to get him on the podcast to do a couple things here in the future. But Friday, I'll be down there at the Warrior Built Golf Tournament in San Diego. And so I'm looking forward to that. And then, so I wanted to put that thanks out there. And obviously I want to thank the PTSD Foundation of America, Warrior Built Foundation, Recon Chief Incorporated, my podcast, Combat Vet Vision, Brian Colburn, SitchRadio.com, the Veterans Transition Resource Center, for really making this podcast happen. And there's so many other organizations out there. Tier 1 Coaching, thanks for being on deck with everything you got going on with Brandon Jenkins, thanks for coming on deck.
Yeah, Jenks.
Yeah. But unfortunately we couldn't hear Brian because I love feed drops. I love it. I love having him come on and do this. This is kind of a really cool segment of the podcast. But hey, next week we'll have him come on. We'll have him feed drop some more. But I got some other guests coming on. I got Colonel Matt coming on next week. As far as I'm going to double check to make sure he's good with it. He's the one that was in the book club. He's doing the military books. He's got a whole bunch of books, and he's dropping a couple other books he wants to talk about. So we'll see how that works out. RJ will be on 2 weeks from now.
Okay. Did you already talk to him?
Yeah, I did. He said he should be able to come on. So I'm looking forward to that. RJ is here at the VTRC, Air Force pilot.
One of the core co-founders. Yeah.
Co-founders. So we're looking at that, and just a lot of really cool things on the show. So hopefully you enjoy these segments as I break them up and go through these processes, and with me and JB. So JB, what you got? You got anything else? Any final words?
That's it. Everybody, we celebrated Memorial Day weekend and a lot of barbecuing. I was at 3 different parties and just ate too much, and like most of us. But it's great to go out, and I'm always talking about veterans. I talked to a veteran yesterday, and he's going through some trouble, and he needs to do a claim. Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys that really need it. I said, hey, you're walking with a cane. You had a lot of problems. Some of it's due to the military service. If you don't take it, somebody else will. And there's a lot of vets out there. Well, when I got out, I don't want to have anything to do with them ever again. Well, that's pretty stupid. You think when you get older, you're going to go to the hospital? Wouldn't you like to go? I mean, here in Las Vegas, we're in the top 3 in the country.
Yeah.
And every room out there in the hospitals is suite. It's got bathrooms, lounge chairs, couches. Your family can stay with you. It's unbelievable. I mean, I like it better than any other hospital I've ever been in. And I've been in a few.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Chef. I mean, talking about Memorial Day, I was thinking about, I got hit up by a vet that was dealing with a situation that became very apparent on most news situations. But when you talk about, disagreements in this country come across in so many different ways, but there's no reason why those disagreements could, ultimately end up in violence and death. It's a sad situation when any of that ever takes place. But you know what? You're free in this country to make great ideas and things happen, but you're also free to be an asshole. And that's the sad part. I mean, if you really want to be an asshole, go ahead and be one, but you're so free that you're free to be an asshole. You're free to be, a jerk, jumping on the flag, giving, all the hell that you want to do. You're free to do it. Doesn't mean you have to, but why you would want to, but you're free to like whoever you like. You're free to vote for whoever you want to vote for. And if you hate voters that vote a certain way, that's not the way to be. You can disagree all you want. I'll disagree with you all day long, but I will always talk to you and consider you my friend if you disagree with me on most issues. I do not hold grudges. I do not hold those discontents, but I understand that you're so free to do whatever you want. And if you look at my emblem and along the flag line, it says, the burden of combat is mine, so America can. And that sentence is not finished for a reason, because it can do whatever it wants because we're free to do it. And those freedoms came on the blood of service members and people that stood the line and guard your freedoms every single day. So you can walk down the street with some sense of, hey, I'm pretty secure here. But there's always going to be some asshole that might not make that wants to impose his freedom on your freedom. And that's the sad part. So I'm not here to impose my freedom on anybody, but I am here to exercise my freedoms when I want and how I want. So you are too. And thanks to those that paid that price. And
our freedom means we'll help you.
Yeah. I'm here to help you.
We're not here to tear you down or put you in a catergory. We're just here to help you.
Get involved in you. Get involved in warrior groups. Get involved in battle buddies, and somebody that you want to talk to relate. you need to be able to bounce something off that's really bothering you. You need to be able to do it, whether that's your therapist. You know, it doesn't have to be all the time. Your peer-to-peers are out there. They're doing things too. But be open-minded, be available too. You know, I had to spend 90% of my time in the military doing all kinds of things that were not even on my plan of the day for me. But now I'm the opposite of that. I spend 10% of my time doing things that I have to do, and the other 90% of my time pretty much open for those that need my help and support if that's necessary.
That's it.
I don't want to fail anybody. So if I've let you down, if I forgot to get back with you on something, remind me, because I don't want to do that on purpose. But I'm not very good at planning all the time because I kind of keep that freeness always available. So I take the day as it comes. But until
don't worry,
JB, go ahead and sign off, brother.
Hey, I wish everybody to have a great week, an awesome week, and remember, bon appetit.
Until next time, strength and honor. Out.
The only way, and we need nothing more. The only way, together forever, that's for sure.